Welcome everyone to the SSG podcast. I am your local resident Blizzard fanboy, Chris. Yeah, and I'm here with Mitch. How you doing, man?
Howdy, partner.
Oh gosh, don't you just love Blizzard, Mitch, and Blizzards in general? Dairy Queen,
Yeah, I was actually talking about Blizzards and Dairy Queen a couple hours ago. My friend was at Dairy Queen, and I was like, "You should get me a Blizzard." And she said no. I was sad.
That's rude.
Nah, it's all good. It's like 30 minutes from my house, so I understand.
Psh, man, look, if you want a Blizzard, I'll mail one to you.
Okay.
Yeah,
What if I want like a Blizzard like snow-wise?
Well, I'm pretty sure there's some people up north even up north. I don't know. Just go to Canada.
No, why would I ever go to Canada?
You wanted a Blizzard.
What do I look like? The CFL?
I don't know what you... Okay. Anyways, guys, thank you again for joining us in episode 6. Holy crap, we've been doing this for a month and a half now. I thought we'd be done by episode 2. Wanted to give a big shout out to everyone that has liked our Facebook page. We've gotten over 100 likes and followers. Fantastic. Big number. Now we're on our way up to the 200 followers. Can we get up to 200? Let's see if we can make it happen. That'd be fantastic. You don't have to like the button or hit subscribe, though. Just understand that. I'm not your bro. So, that's... If anyone watches any YouTube at all, that's like what 90% of the people who do YouTube now say. So, also, I wanted to give a shout out, though, to my sister. I'm not going to say the name or anything like that. She knows who she is. She was the big, pretty much the big person who got us up to over 100, because she posted a lot of stuff on Facebook and got a lot of people to like the page. So big shout out to her for doing what I'm essentially calling it was a social media blitzkrieg and getting us up to that. Also on Twitter, we're up to over 200 followers now, which is amazing. I never thought I'd be part of a Twitter account that would get over even 100 followers. So my own personal Twitter account is sitting there with 87, 88 followers, and it's just because I talk about sports all the time. So,
Yeah, I actually do too. I use my Twitter for mostly sports as well.
Yeah, that sports news and updates and stuff like that. But yeah, the SSG podcast Twitter account and Facebook page just hitting milestones left and right. It's fantastic, and you guys are the big part of it. So thank you so much for, being the listeners that you are. And as always, I'll be quite honest with you. If there's any feedback that you guys want to give us or something like that, please reach out to us on Facebook or social media or where any kind of social media in general, because at least I'm always looking to improve the quality of the podcast. Mitch is not someone who wants to improve the quality of the podcast. So if you want this podcast to be to be the best that it can be, to succeed and to reach heights and levels that it's never reached before, don't be a Mitch.
Yeah, don't be a... Wait.
So there's connotation there, because what does Mitch rhyme with? We're not saying the word, but just think. Just think for a second. Don't be a Mitch.
Ditch.
There we go. Don't be a ditch. That's exactly what it is.
Don't be a hole in the ground.
Yes.
Even though we all end up in holes in the ground.
Don't bring that. We don't need that.
What is love?
Oh, Lord. With that, though, get some of that business stuff out of the way. Got to sweep that around. And
the housekeeping is now done. Thanks, sister.
I'm glad the streets are clean now. We're going to move into to honestly what is our newest segment. I think this is going to be a fun time to actually talk about stuff, because this could bring up some interesting conversations. The latest games, honestly, that have been released, which is fun stuff. Everyone likes games. We're a gaming podcast, and we want to bring you the news. We want to be informative. It might not be informative. You may already know 90% of the stuff we're saying. Then we're at least hoping that we're entertaining. And we're probably, if we're not entertaining, then what are you doing listening to us? No, keep listening. So
drive them away.
Oh, trust me. I feel like nothing at this point is really going to drive people away. Yeah, those that want to listen and stay are going to stay. It's the people that try to come in and listen to us. They're going to end up listening to this episode and be like, what did I just jump
Like,
into?
who's this guy that likes Warframe so much? He should play Destiny.
I've played both. So games that have come out. I don't know. Mitch, do you want to handle this? I don't know if you do want to talk about some stuff.
Yeah, sure. So July 13th, which that was yesterday?
Don't let
yesterday.
Don't let them know when we're recording. Wow.
That was the day. July 13th.
That happened
right.
sometime.
So Captain Toad Treasure Tracker came out for the Switch and the Nintendo 3DS.
Beautiful.
I believe that was already a Wii U game, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was to...
it just got repacked. I know it was a game, but I don't know if it was for the Wii or the Wii U.
It was for the Wii U. It was definitely for the Wii U. I remember that when that game was announced, there was a little bit of buzz about it because people were going, "Oh my gosh, a new type of game from Nintendo that doesn't feature Mario, but it features a secondary character from, the Mario universe."
Yeah, and ironically enough, this one comes with additional maps from Odyssey.
That's awesome.
Yeah, really cool. I didn't play it for Wii U as I didn't really play my Wii U besides Smash, Kart, typical Nintendo multiplayer games, Splatoon.
But yeah, it's an action puzzler, so it's different. It's not like it's not like a Splatoon. It's not a platformer like most Mario games typically are. It's more thought put into it.
Yeah, I love those kind of games, but I just didn't play them for the Wii U because I didn't have a Pro Controller, and the gamepad is atrocious.
I love the gamepad. How dare you say such terrible things?
It's a toy, Chris.
No. Well, all video games are toys, but look,
it's complicated.
Look. I know that I'm probably going to be one of the few people in the world that will go to bat for the Wii U, but I think it was a wonderful system. There's a lot of great games that came out for it. It's probably one of my favorite systems to have ever played on. And
wow.
Yeah, because I think it is. It shouldn't have been called the Wii U. That was a big marketing blunder on Nintendo's part. But I still think it's a wonderful system. There's so many good games on it.
He went to bat and he struck out.
No, I didn't strike out because I know at least one other person out there would go to bat for him. Ryan, if you're listening to this, buddy, help me.
It's too late. You're in the future. Can't come back to the past. Can't convince me otherwise.
Well, this will at least let me know if Ryan listened to this episode. So,
and if he doesn't, then you know where you'll end up. It rhymes with Mitch.
I'll be a witch.
Yeah, exactly. You'll be flying so high in the sky.
Wait. Okay.
Anyways, all right. So, debatably bigger as Octopath Traveler. That is the game designed for the Nintendo Switch by Square Enix.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, it was very exciting.
That is a.
It was called Project Octopath Traveler. Everyone just kind of laughed then when it was announced. They were like,
"What a name!
There's no way it's going to be called that, right?"
That's a terrible name.
That's what it's called. It's called Octopath Traveler. It had a demo actually, I believe. Okay, so I think it was announced last E3, and then they released a demo, which I think you can play for 3 hours, and then the progress from the demo carries over to the full game.
I'm about to get that demo. Does that still exist?
I'm not sure. I downloaded it, but I didn't play it.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I kept putting it off, and then Mario Kart was there, and Splatoon was there, and then Odyssey was there, and Breath of the Wild. So it got swallowed up. But I'm actually going to play it after we record so that I can see what it's all about. See if I want to buy the full thing. Because I'm hearing great things, except for Kotaku. Jason Schreier reviewed it, and he didn't. He said it was just meh. So
yeah, actually, which by the way, next week then let us know what you think about it. If I get around to downloading it, then if the demo still exists, then I will definitely give that a shot myself if I can find the time. But I think it was Jason Schreier that I read on Twitter that he said that it's like people were thinking that it was going to be some kind of Final Fantasy VI like successor kind of a thing.
Yeah,
and it's
successor.
yeah, and it's really not that. Like, apparently it's something different or whatnot. And he's, like, you know, and I saw the same thing he said where it was like it was meh, but it's still I think he still thought it was a good game. Just wasn't.
Yeah, I think he reviewed it pretty fair.
I mean, and I'm looking, you know, we're looking on Metacritic. I mean, it's currently at an 84 on Metacritic. That's pretty favorable.
Yeah,
I mean, and
for a brand new IP for I guess I wouldn't say really niche console, but for the Switch.
Well, it's a big deal. It's a big deal for Nintendo because what's been Nintendo's problem since the freaking Wii? No, what's been Nintendo's problem like since the freaking Super Nintendo? Well, not even Super Nintendo. Yeah, since the GameCube, honestly, there's not been a ton of third-party developers. You know, no one's really wanted to jump on board, and most of it's been because I'll be honest with you, most of it's because, like, with the Wii, that hardware was just hard to develop a game for because you had to factor in the stupid motion controls.
Yep.
Now with the Switch, at least you have something that's I mean, even with the Wii U, but once again, because of the marketing, you can still play games on it like normal, but just due to the marketing aspect of it, you know, it's sharing a name with the Wii, people are going to steer clear of it.
Yeah.
But with the Switch, I don't know. Sounds different. It's a new thing. Looks different. But it's just, I don't know. I got my Switch and I've got my like the Wii U pad, like almost sitting side by side, and just I don't know. You could just see the
improvement.
You can just see where the design went with it. I still think the Wii U gamepad's a beautiful thing.
Sure,
it's my favorite controller of all time.
If you like leapfrog toys,
not even, man, not freaking even. Look, I got a Wii U specifically to play Breath of the Wild on.
Did you really?
Yeah, back when Breath of the Wild was first like announced, I was like, I'm getting a Wii U then. I was like, because I want to play this because it was before the Switch was even announced.
Yeah.
And so I ended up getting a Wii U, and then when the Switch was announced and they did Breath of the Wild on both the Switch and on the Wii U, I got me a Wii U copy of Breath of the Wild. I'm not going to get a copy of Breath of the Wild on Switch because I have it on Wii U, and the gameplay is fine.
So did you play it on Switch?
Did I play Breath of the Wild on Switch?
Yeah.
No. I have no need to. I mean, I'm playing pretty much a very similar version of the game on Wii U. Most of it comes down to the fact that I'm not going to drop another $60 on a game I already own.
Yeah, I guess, but do you not play your Switch outside of your house?
I mean, I do, but Breath of the Wild is like most of the time when I play like my Switch outside of the house, it's with other people.
Okay.
So I'll take it over to my girlfriend's house, and we'll like me, her, and one of her sisters. We'll play Mario Kart. And
you win?
Most of the time, yes, I do.
Bad boyfriend.
It's not my fault she sucks.
Well,
I'm
there it
sorry.
is.
I'm sorry. I'm glad that she does not listen to this podcast.
Hashtag expose Chris.
Oh, man, I'm a terrible human being. Oh, I feel so bad for saying that. No, look, I've told her before, I was like, look, if you want to, we can, I can teach her how to play. Like, I can show her, like, take the time and we can go through some practice stuff and I can, you know, work with her and get better at playing. She just doesn't play video games all that much. And, you know, some people, they gravitate towards video games more than others. Yeah. She prefers, like, Kingdom Hearts. She loves Kingdom Hearts. And mostly because there's Disney in it. She loves anything Disney. What was it? The Castle of Illusion. It was a Mickey Mouse game. And it was, like, back in the day, like, I think it was on, like, Super Nintendo and stuff. And it even came out, like, they did a version for the NES. Those were platformers. They were really good platformers. Well, they recreated that game on, I think, on the Wii. There was a Castle of Illusion 1 and Castle of Illusion 2. And she loves those games. Heck, dude, she was playing Batman Arkham Asylum.
Good. Everyone should play
And
that.
she was loving it until she got to the Killer Croc stage, and I spooked her about it, and because I knew what was going, I know what happens in that boss fight. It's kind of creepy, but when I told her about it, she's like, I don't want to play it now. I kind of spooked her a little bit. And she's like, why don't you play it for me or something? I said, no, you need to do it yourself. Like, play the game yourself. It's fun.
What? See, I want to ask what you're talking about, because I don't remember a spooky part.
I thought it was a little creepy because it's when you're in the sewers and you're running on the wood platforms, and
yeah,
there's
and you have
water
to run towards the camera.
Yeah, you got to run towards the camera, and Killer Croc can like reach up and just grab you and yank you into the water.
See, that's what I thought you were talking about, but that's not really spooky.
It's kind of creepy. I mean, then again, I'm the one who thought the original BioShock was creepy.
That is a creepy game.
Well, I've been told that it's not as creepy as I think it is. So
That doesn't mean that it's not creepy.
I've not played it all the way through because because of how creepy it is. I'm not a fan of anything in the slightest that can scare me.
Really?
Yeah, there's like levels on the original Halo that terrified me.
So did the flood terrify you?
Yes, absolutely. That scene where the flood, you meet the flood for the first time, that was like straight out of a horror movie. I hated that. I mean, it was cool, but at the same time, I was just like, I don't like this. Because when it comes to like horror movie type stuff, horror games, back when like Amnesia first came out, those types of games, the Five Nights at Freddy's type games, I'm okay with watching. Slender Man. I'm okay with kind of watching people play those games, but I can never play those games because I get stressed out and I'll get very anxious, and it just no longer becomes fun for me.
So what you're saying is that we should get together and I should let you play PT? Does I still have it on my PS4?
We'll never touch that ever.
Why?
Because I'm not touching anything horror related. I remember when the original Resident Evil came out and my uncle and my mom played that game. Mm-hmm. I had nightmares.
I did too.
That game gave me nightmares. That, and there was another PC game called Phantasmagoria.
Okay.
Those two games like traumatized me as a kid. Like I had no business as a kid seeing those games, but they left a strong impact on me, and it was from that point forward where I was like, I don't care for anything horror related.
Do you watch horror movies by any chance?
I have watched horror movies, but I don't care for them.
Okay.
What
about like slasher films?
I don't care for. I usually don't care for slasher films because I just don't like all the excessive gore.
Okay.
Just
makes sense.
Yeah, just too much. I mean, I'm not saying I can't stand too much violence, but you know, when you got people getting slashed in the torso and there's just blood going blah blah blah, blah everywhere, kind of a thing, I'm just like, no. It's just
I'm the exact opposite. I absolutely love horror.
Yeah.
My mom used to like sit down and watch like Texas Chainsaw Massacre VHS tapes with me all the time. It was great.
Huh.
Yeah, she introduced me to horror and all that kind of stuff. But I will say that PT, I never finished PT. I got, spoilers for if anyone doesn't know what PT is, it's a Hideo Kojima game that was being developed called Silent Hills that was canceled by Konami because Konami sucks at everything, and freak Konami, for a nice way of putting it.
Yeah,
but they developed it stands for playable teaser. It was a tiny chunk of the game. If you don't know what it is, you should just YouTube PT, because they took it off the PlayStation Store, but if you had already downloaded it, which I had, I still have it on my hard drive. But that game is legitimately terrifying. I scream like a little girl. I know exactly how everything plays out. I know exactly how to beat the demo. I know every single pop-up, and it's still scary.
No, thank you.
Have you seen any videos on it or anything?
I've seen a little bit. It's enough to make me just go, no, thank you.
I would suggest watching a Let's Play of it, because like that game it's a Kojima game.
Oh yeah, dude. The man's
so
brilliant. The man's brilliant.
So good.
I don't I don't know if it's a horror something or other and it's got a good decent plot, maybe I'll watch a Let's Play of it. But I myself can't play stuff like that. I got like legitimately terrified in certain things with Left 4 Dead.
Witches are terrifying.
Oh my gosh, I love playing those games, especially with friends. There's no way I could play those games by myself.
Really?
Yeah, because I just having my friends with me while playing that, it made me feel better. But just in general, just that type of stuff, there's no way I could touch it.
Man, I love me some Left 4 Dead.
Oh, I love Left 4 Dead as well. Left 4 Dead 2, dude. There's still a joke that me and a buddy of mine have. It's called we call it the zombie train, and it was. I saw it happen. It's just still a thing you think about, and it's like hilarious. So it's like, I guess I'll tell you. It's like I don't know what map. I can't remember what map we were on, but it's like there was like a subway system, and you get. Wow.
Yeah, sorry, my phone's like acting really weird.
Your phone's
going off randomly. Hold on, I'm turning it off. This is dumb.
Oh no, man! We're talking horror stuff, and Friday the 13th was yesterday. And
you're not supposed to tell them when we're recording.
So Friday the 13th may have occurred at some other point, and that's just kind of spooky.
Yeah, you know, it's the like the microphone that like push talk. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
It just keeps doing that over and over, and I'm clearly not pressing it because it's on my lap.
Yeah, it's just possessed. It's just possessed. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's heard of Konami coming to mess.
Yeah, it's Konami. Yeah, Konami. Yep, just Konami. But anyway, so like there was I was playing with a buddy of mine. We were doing just split screen co-op. It was just me and him, and I remember. So it was like a really dark section of the game. And I know the game itself is pretty dark, but you're like underground and you're trying to make your way into the subway tunnel. And he turns a corner and flips on his light, and he just sees like 20. Like he's looking down a corridor, and he's looking. So it's like down this corridor, and then like beyond the corridor, like it opens up into where the subway tunnel is. And so as soon as he flips his light on, he says he sees 20 zombies run from the left to the right, just like. Boom.
Like wall to wall?
No. It's they're in the subway tunnel, but they're running left to right. They're down the corridor. He can just see down the corridor. Just 20 zombies, just running from
just
left
like
to right.
Zigzagging.
No, they're not zigzagging. It's just if you're looking down a hallway into a room, okay, and you turn your light on and you see something just go from left to right.
Yeah, so wall to wall.
Yeah, it's wall to wall, but they're not. Yeah. Okay, it's wall to wall, but they're in the room.
Yeah.
So he sees that, and I see that too, and he goes, "Holy!" I mean, just like he's like, "What the freaking?" It was just like it was hilarious as it happened because he's just like flipping out. He's like, "Oh my!" Because we weren't expecting zombies. Like the music wasn't crescendoing. There was nothing going on, and he just randomly 20 zombies just go. And we're just like, what the freaking heck? And we're just busting out laughing after that. That was fantastic.
Man, I wish I could experience Left 4 Dead again, like for the first time.
Yeah, that was one of the last great co-op games.
It really was.
And one of the last great games that Valve ever made before they decided just to, sit on their pile of money with Steam.
Yeah. As much as I want Left 4 Dead 3, I'm sure I would just be let down by it because it would probably just be more Left 4 Dead.
It would just be a battle royale.
Oh no.
Anyways, we're gonna finish up this list of games that came out because we just totally got sidetracked. I mean, you're here for the discussion, right? That's what we're about.
Yeah, it's true. Well, speaking of Left 4 Dead, there's a Left 4 Dead sort of semi-clone. Warhammer Vermintide 2 just came out for the Xbox One this past week. Did you play the original Vermintide?
I did not play the original Vermintide, and I'll be honest with you. When you mentioned it last week, I thought you were talking about some other kind of game. Because I want to say, or was it last week or week before when I was like, "There's no good Warhammer games," and you're like, "Well, Vermintide's good." And I'm like,
"Yeah, I think it was last week. I believe we talked about Vermintide for a brief second."
Yeah, I thought I was thinking of a different game that was actually a third person hack, like kind of a hack and slasher kind of a thing. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if that. I can't remember, but I thought that was a pretty good Warhammer game. I don't think I've ever played Vermintide.
To me, a lot of my friends also think this as well. Vermintide was basically just It's like a medieval version of Left 4 Dead.
Okay.
It's super fun. I haven't sunk a lot of hours into it because the guys I usually used to play PS4 with, like, all kind of just went our separate ways. Like, two of us go play PC now.
Is it shaped up like Killing Floor?
In what sense?
Like, do you fight enemies in that aspect? I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not like, you've got rounds of enemies and stuff like that, but, the...
It's more like clearing levels.
Okay.
And doing objective things, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, of course, there's, like, endless amount of things to kill. It's like Left 4 Dead in, like, the sense of, like, you go, like, to a certain point and then, like, it triggers an enemy wave. And
okay, so you're going from point A to point B, and... Okay, I got you.
Yep. Yeah, and then you go to the next level, kind of like how, like, each like, mission, I guess it's called, like, have, like, different stages.
Yeah.
It's very similar to that.
Okay. That's cool.
So Vermintide 2 snuck up on me super quick, because before we did the podcast, I didn't even know that they were making a sequel, and that had already been out for PC. Otherwise, I would have probably already had it.
Yeah, March 8th of this year is when it came out on PC.
That's crazy to me. So I'm not sure how that slipped by me, but I'm excited to try this. So I'm probably going to be trying to get it within the next few days. Try it out, see what it's all about.
Yeah,
hopefully they expanded upon it, because it's kind of basic, but I mean, take it like Left 4 Dead 2 to Left 4 Dead 1 doesn't feel drastic, but at the same time it has some really big changes. So hopefully they do that for Vermintide.
Yeah, they improved upon, like, melee weapons being a thing in Left 4 Dead 2, and
right,
some different guns and stuff like that.
Yeah, they set up their game. New enemy types and stuff as well.
Yeah, new enemy types. Which, for anyone though who's sitting there going, well, why, what about PS4? I've not heard anything about PS4. Supposedly, there's a PS4 version of the game coming. I think it's stated to come out this year, but we don't exactly have an official release date on that. So they're taking their sweet time, and they're giving the Xbox more love. Which I guess it's like a modern day exclusive if you think about it.
Yeah.
Where
prime exclusivity.
Yeah, where one game or one console gets the game first, and then the other consoles will eventually get it. So PC got it first, because I would assume it's easy to develop games for PC.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this whole cycle was they developed it for PC and then just put it on lower. Like, they adjusted to the architecture of PS4 and Xbox.
Yeah. And PS4 is probably going to be... Because if you're going from PC to Xbox One, I would assume it's going to be easier. Just because it's Microsoft. And then PS4 is going to be a little bit more difficult. So, yeah, well, they'll release it this year. I've no doubt about it.
Yeah, makes sense.
I want to touch on one last game that actually came out it's of no note. Like, there's nothing notable about it, but I found it amazing. Because I was into this game when it first came out, the first version of it. But Defiance 2050... okay, so this apparently is like a continuation of like the Defiance game that came out so many years ago. That also, it was an MMO that came out at the same time as the sci-fi show.
Were they correlating with each other?
Yeah. Like the characters of the sci-fi show were in the MMO, and it told a story of sorts. It was a first-person, or actually it says right here, like on Metacritic, that it's a remake. So I wonder if they just remade Defiance into its own thing, right? Like it's a reskinning of sorts, where they took the original game and they said, well, we can't do anything else with this, so we're just going to reskin it. I love the first Defiance because it was a MMO first-person shooter, which doesn't really exist.
Yeah, exactly.
And they also had a sponsorship from Dodge, so you could
That's interesting.
So you could get so like if you did this thing, I forget exactly what you had to do, but instead of mounts in the game, like World of Warcraft, you have a mount, so you like ride a horse or something like that. You instead would spawn vehicles. So imagine, and so this is like, so it's like an MMO. So like you're seeing, and it's like you have like world bosses that would occur, just randomly show up, and everyone can start shooting at them and taking part in it and stuff like that. Well, imagine you just defeated a world boss, and you see like 20 people just like activate their mounts, and they're all like Dodge Chargers.
I don't know why that's so funny to me, but
That's what happened there. The red Dodge Chargers just, and it's like everyone's like,
awesome.
boom, boom, and I was like, okay. It was weird. It was so weird because it kind of took you out of the game a little bit, but but the thing is, well, it wasn't a good game. I don't think it was that good of a game, but there's always those games where we play, like, even if it's a bad game, we still play it, and we're like, it just means something to you.
Yeah.
And that's what this game kind of was. It was a fun couple of months that I spent in this game, and it meant nothing. It was a terrible game, but I just grinned when I think about it because I was like, man, just freaking those red Dodge Chargers just driving across the map. It was it's hilarious.
No idea what triggered this. I assume that it's like spawning vehicles. But there was no mention of Borderlands 3 at E3. I know I'm like 4 or 5 weeks late on that, but that's disappointing.
Oh, that is interesting. Yeah, can someone go talk to Randy about that? Someone reach out to Randy.
Who's Randy?
He's like the head of Gearbox.
Oh, okay.
He's crazy too, like really crazy. Like if you were to catch wind that I just said this on this podcast, we're probably gonna be blocked by him about this time next week.
Well, Randy, if you're still listening, stop sobbing over Bloodborne. Stop sobbing over Battleborn and give me Borderlands 3.
Well, did you never saw like him and Jason Schreier got into like this big Twitter fight over it was the pay model for Battleborn. So Jason Schreier like at one point said that that Randy Pitchford, that's the Airbox dude, had stated that essentially Battleborn was going to be going to a free to play system, like free to play model. And Randy came back and was like, "No, I never said that." And then he proceeds to essentially just describe what is a free to play model.
Yeah, I was gonna say I remember they going to free to play and then essentially dying.
Yeah, it died. It died. And from what I'd seen, it wasn't a bad game. It's just Overwatch did things better.
Yep, it's almost identical to Cliffy B.
With Lawbreakers,
Radical Heights. I was gonna say Radical Heights, which is their battle royale mode or battle royale game.
Did you ever play Lawbreakers?
Nope. I had Overwatch.
That game that just makes me sad. Like,
Are you as sad as in like it was a good game and it should have got more recognition, or sad as
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was a pretty decent game. I enjoyed it. I mean, I didn't play it a ton. It was essentially a callback to arena shooters, and I guess that's the reason why I liked it so much because like I played a lot of Tribes 2 back in the day. Battlefront, the original Battlefront 2. That's considered an arena shooter type thing.
What a game!
Unreal Tournament, 2004. Yes,
Unreal Tournaments were so good, dude.
So much. I played so much of those games, and people just don't play them anymore. Because that's not the thing. It's first it was arena shooters, then it went into horde modes. That was the big thing for games. Then after horde modes, it went into we gotta have the zombie survival mode, and survival games became a thing. And now we're into battle royales.
Do you remember the first game that did horde mode? Was it Gears of War?
Gears of War, yep. That was the first game that probably... I'm pretty sure there's other games that could have the claim to fame to have done a horde mode.
Right.
But Gears of
War perfected it.
Yep. Well, it made it popular.
Man, I'll never forget that. What was it, Gears 2 they implemented that?
I think it was Gears 2, yep.
God, what a game. Cliffy B.
I love Gears 2. And this is the thing,
Dude.
I was so against Gears of War when it came out. I was like, no, I'm sticking with my Halo. And then I played Gears 2, and I was like, okay.
Oh, wow, you didn't play Gears 1?
I never played Gears 1. I tried playing. I tried to play. After playing Gears 2, I couldn't play Gears 1.
So if you ever do get an Xbox, buy the remastered version of it.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely going to be one of the, one of the mini games that I would get if I ever got an Xbox One. Like, if I get an Xbox One, I'm getting every Halo game ever. I'm getting whatever the most recent Forza Horizon game is. And then I'm getting the remastered Gears of War stuff.
Nice. Gears of War is one of my favorite franchises.
I absolutely love Gears 2. Just the story was fantastic. I played it co-op too. That was a big selling point for me back in the days if the game had co-op, because
me too.
Me and my buddies would always play stuff like that. I played through Medal of Honor Warfighter. I thought that was a good game.
That was the sequel, right?
Medal of Honor?
Medal of Honor Warfighter?
Yeah.
That was a sequel to the Medal of Honor reboot.
Yes. And I thought it was good. And everyone's like, no, this game sucks. And I was like, what you talking
I like
about?
the multiplayer of it too.
I played a couple of Call of Duty games. The single player says, co-op stuff. I just like co-op games. I like being able to have my buddies come over and us just, hey, let's waste some time playing some games. That's why I like Borderlands so much.
I actually didn't play Borderlands like split screen, but I played it online.
Yeah, we played split screen for the most part. But as time has moved on and as we have gotten older, you know what? I'll be honest with you. There's something that me and my girlfriend need to actually try to do. I'll try to get her to play like Borderlands.
Good luck.
I think she'd like it.
Think so?
Maybe Claptrap would be funny.
Is she gonna suck at that too?
She may start off, being terrible at it, but I'm saying over time, how do you get better at doing anything?
You quit it.
And with that, we're gonna move on to our next. No, don't ever quit. If you kids, if you're listening to this in the future, when we have thousands of, listeners and such, don't ever quit on anything. Don't ever give up. Don't be a Mitch.
Never give up. John Cena. Yeah, but I've talked about it a few times. I actually think I mentioned on the podcast. My best friend growing up, we go to like the local video game store, movie store, whatever you want to call it. And we rented Gears 1. We beat it in one night, split screen, got all the achievements over the weekend. And then we went and got Gears 2. We demolished that game in like one sitting. God, I love that game so much.
I don't know if me and my friends beat Gears 2 in one sitting, but actually we did, because I think what happened was, so there was 3 of us, but you could only do like 2-player co-op.
Yeah, it's because you were Marcus and Dom.
Yeah, and I remember we would take turns, so we'd play for a while, and then when we'd start getting tired, we'd be like, okay, here, I gotta take a break. We pass it off to someone else. We gotta take a break, watch people play, and then one person be like, okay, I'm tired of playing, and we'd slide in and out.
Mm-hmm.
It was good times. Then when Halo 3 came out, though, 4-person local co-op,
game changer.
Man, that was the most fun. Because then we had competitive mode turned on, so you get kills, you get points and stuff like that. So that made it a fun time.
I'll never forget the launch of Halo 3.
That was some of the best marketing I've ever seen for a video game.
I don't remember the marketing, but I remember everything I did from the time I woke up that morning to the time I went to sleep. And I just need to apologize again. I've done it my entire life, but that night, we went to my friend's house, Mike's. Shout out to Mike and Ziggy. We stayed up all night playing Halo, and his mom made homemade pizza. And it wasn't very good pizza. So I woke up vomiting all over the carpet. And to this day, I still feel bad about it.
Oh my gosh, nothing like undercooked pizza.
It was rough. It was the sauce to cheese ratio was horrible.
Like too much sauce, not enough cheese?
Yes.
So you never do that.
It was terrible.
You always want more cheese than more sauce.
But I gotta give her a shout out. She made the best sundae I've ever eaten in my entire life.
Props. Was it Mike's mom? Mike's mom?
Yep, Mike's mom.
Mike's mom. Good job. You screwed up on pizza. Don't ever make pizza, but your Sundays, good job.
We're banging. Thank you so much.
No, don't.
Sorry about your carpet.
Don't say banging. Don't. When we're talking about someone's mom, don't say banging. Just don't include that at all.
Too late.
Dang it.
The banging's already been done.
Good grief. Anyways, what was that? I thought I was going to say something, but I guess not. Anyways, I guess we'll move on to the news segment.
News.
And look, there's a big thing that happened this past weekend, and it was kind of funny because we said last week it was a slow news week. And then almost right after we got done recording, like the next day, this big thing came out. So this big thing came out about ArenaNet, and they had fired 2 employees. And what went on? What was the big deal with all this?
It appeared that an ArenaNet employee that it was a narrative director, right?
Yes, narrative director.
Okay,
We say narrative director. She was a writer on staff. She was a narrative writer on staff.
Right. She went on Twitter and went on a. I don't even know how many tweets it was at this point. I think it was 27 or so. It was Jessica Price. That's her name. If anyone wants to know or look this up.
Yeah, the tweets and the thread is still up there. We'll link. We got 2 articles that we've essentially pulled from. We'll link both of them. One's a Kotaku article. One's a Polygon article. So that's where we're pulling most of our information from. By the way, so sorry. You can continue.
Right. So she went on a Twitter spree, and I'll read 2 of the tweets for you. She says, "Since I spent all kinds of time saying it on a Reddit AMA, Ask Me Anything, and I haven't talked about the actual game dev on Twitter in a while, here's a thread about writing a PC character in an MMO. PC being playable character, I assume.
Yes.
The dirty secret is, I'm not sure if it's possible to make an MMORPG or a CRPG character compelling, because people have different expectations about the character will be as opposed to a pre-designed character in a single-player game." So from that tweet, we get a tweet from a streamer / YouTuber who is apparently big in the Guild Wars 2 community. So I'll just go ahead and read it. It says, "Really interesting thread to read. However, allow me to slightly disagree." Slightly is in asterisks to emphasize context, I guess. He says, "I don't believe this issue lies in the MMORPG itself, as your wording seemingly suggests. I believe the issue lies in the constraints of the living story's narrative design. When you want the outcome to be across all the board's players' experience, then yes, by design you're extremely limited in how you construct your personality of the playable character. But instead, players were given the option to meaningfully express their character through branching dialogue options, which also aren't just a checklist for an achievement that forces you through all the dialogue options. That perhaps players would be more invested in the role-playing aspect of a particular MMORPG. Nonetheless, I appreciate the insightful thread."
Which I want to jump in real quick and say this guy is talking about, and in my opinion, something like in Star Wars The Old Republic, where you have these characters that are part of this overarching plot. Like, there's always a story going on that's bigger than the character itself. The character's taking place in the story. But the character that you make has the ability to alter his surroundings, his or her surroundings in a way by having dialogue choices. So if I make a character that's I forget what the actual character types are, but like whatever the main Sith, it's like might be like a Sith Marauder or something like that. Essentially, the melee, like the opposite of the Jedi, to the Jedi Guardian. I can make my Sith person who's on the quote unquote bad guy faction. I can make him a good guy. I'm gonna say him. I mean him or her. I can make them a good guy, even though they're playing on the bad guy faction. They're Sith, but I can make them a friendly Sith. I can take these characters they're not limited based off of their situation. There's dialogue choices, these branching dialogue options, which allow people to be invested in this role playing aspect, because they feel like the choices they're making actually impact their character. It changes it allows them to mold their character into what they want it to be.
Right.
Because I made a bounty hunter whom I loved. I loved this bounty hunter because he was on the Sith. He was technically part of the bad guy side, but he was a good guy. He helped people when he could. He was never he was sarcastic. Anytime, this was interesting, anytime I had dialogue options with, like, actual Sith, like, troops or officers or something, he was a douche. Right. He was a douchebag to him. But with his own kind, or with fellow bounty hunters, or with people, just normal people, he was a nice guy. The only reason why he was, in my eyes, the way I'd actually, like, dressed this whole thing up was, he was only working for the Sith because they were paying him more money.
Okay. That makes sense.
So anyways, I just wanted to lay that little bit of layer down to kind of explain what I think that this guy was, or person, I need to stop assuming genders. What this person was saying, I'm just trying to kind of give a little more context into what they were probably saying, because, you know, I fully agree with this. I fully agree with his statement. So, you can continue. Sorry, sir.
Oh, no, you're fine. I actually think that clarity was much needed. So I read all of his things. So she responds to that with he ends it, he or she ends it. I'm not really sure. I'm not familiar with the account because I'm not a Guild Wars player. They end it with, nonetheless, I appreciate the insightful thread. And she replies to that, just, thanks for trying to tell me what we do internally, my dude. Puts like a little emoticon face, I guess.
It's not an actual emoticon, but it's just like if you do like the lowercase x, uppercase D kind of a thing, but it's like a 9_9. That's just an annoyed look.
Yeah, exactly. And so, the tweet that actually, I guess, started the controversy was she quote tweeted it, which is, for anyone who doesn't know, basically retweets it and puts a caption to it. She took his thread and basically said, well, she did say, quote, today in female game dev, quote, allow me, a person who does not work with you, to explain how to do your job.
Or how you do your job.
Or how you do your job, right. This caused a major uproar on Twitter, as everything usually does cause big uproar when someone says something of this magnitude. The next tweet to that, I believe she replies to that tweet. Where is the tweet at? Hold on, give me a second.
Just to kind of follow up, when she said that, what she said, Aurora actually came back and stated, replying to Miss Price, and stated, so much for an open discussion, I guess. I meant no disrespect at all, in all caps. Never did, never will. Neither did I imply I knew better, nor has this anything to do with gender. Never did, never will. I will retract my comment because obviously I'm in the wrong forum for this kind of talk. As far as Twitter goes, this person is being, you know, is being like the most respectful I've ever really seen someone. Like they could have lashed out towards Miss Price.
Oh, absolutely.
The Roar, whatever their name is. I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. I don't mean to be disrespectful. We don't mean to be disrespectful about it.
Right.
But
they're from Denmark.
That's awesome though. Like, I don't know. I just like, see, and the thing is, English probably isn't his or her first language either.
Right.
So, I mean, to be able to carry on a conversation like that in English, and to be able to kind of, you know, he just want to have a conversation about things. Like she wanted to put all this stuff in this massive Twitter thread, and essentially, it's like I think, I'll be honest with you, Mitch. I'll be honest with you, man. It feels like to me she was venting.
Yeah.
She was venting about the processes of having to be a writer for an MMORPG. and all the stuff she has to go through, and how I'm not going to say she was saying how hard her job is, but in general, I feel like she was trying to explain how difficult it is for her to be able to write this, to write these characters, to develop these characters without any kind of general backstory. And if I'm wrong about it, then people can let me know. And I just found it to be so sad that when someone comes out and says, "Look, I understand what you're saying, but I want to disagree with you a little bit," she immediately thinks that just because she's a female game developer, that this person is telling her that she doesn't know. She thinks this person is like talking down to her.
Yeah.
Haven't we seen this?
Slightly disagrees.
Yeah, haven't we seen? We're seeing this type of behavior non-stopping in our culture.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. Sometimes, men have come across the women, or a lot of times actually. I have this issue with my girlfriend from time to time, where, I don't mean to do it, but I will come across as, like she doesn't know anything, so I'm going to explain to her what all this is. And I don't mean to do it. I'm with that way with almost anybody. If they don't know something, I'll go into extreme explain detail mode. It doesn't matter if you're male or female, or your gender doesn't really matter to me.
No.
But I can understand why she takes offense to it, because it makes her think that I think she's an idiot. And she's,
exactly.
And she's not. I don't see this person coming and attacking Miss Price with their, with what they were saying. I thought they were making a legitimate, discussion out of this whole thing. And what's the best thing to do here? Like, if you're going to go and talk about, how to make branching, dialogue and stuff like that, you're opening yourself up on Twitter. It's social media. You're going to have people come and talk to you. What?
Exactly.
Like, if you don't want people to talk to you, if you want a place to where you can vent your issues, or you want to talk about stuff, okay, she makes it seem like this is an open discussion, but then shuts down a guy or a person whom, like, have you found that tweet yet, by the way?
I just had it, and I just lost it somehow.
Ah, crap.
You feeling it real fast?
Do what?
Okay, so this was a follow-up tweet to the tweet that I read earlier about the female game dev allow me a person who does not work with you explain to you how to do your job. She followed that up with, "Oh my gosh, I clicked away from it again.
Yeah,
I am dropping the ball."
It's Twitter though. Like, if you click on the opposite, like if you click away from the thread you're on, it'll just disappear.
Yeah, it's okay. So this is the next tweet. Quote, "Like the next rando asshat who attempts to explain the concept of branching dialogue to me as if having worked in a game narrative for a effing decade." Of course, it's not I censored that.
Yeah.
"I've never heard of this," is getting insta-blocked. PSA. So basically what she's saying is, anyone that has a deferring opinion to me, I'm not going to read your opinion. I'm just going to block you so that I don't have to accept your criticism.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just ignorance, man.
That bothers me so much. That ticks me off so much. Because I'm about to say some things that are going to be like critical. I want
do it. Use your platform.
Listen, there are women out there who are having legit problems. All right, who are literally being held back. Yes. I am sick and tired of seeing, almost on a daily basis, we'll go with a weekly basis, these women that want to come out and just use their status as being a woman to think that they're being held at ransom. And I mean all this because of what's stated in this Polygon article. because apparently Polygon reached out to her for some words.
I believe that. Yeah, I believe that she did an interview with them.
And this, I'm gonna read some of this. And this man was just once again person from Denmark, Deror,
I apologize.
whatever. Stated that they were just trying to have an open discussion.
Mm-hmm.
And to think that there's someone out there who thinks that that they want to think that because they're a woman, someone is quote unquote trying to tell them how to do their job, when this person gave no indication that that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to have a discussion. B wants to then not take any kind of criticism and only wants to hear what they want to hear in their own bubble. How many people are going about stuff like that today? How many of these freaking SJWs, they want to call them snowflakes, okay? They want to call them people who just, I don't want to hear your opinion because it offends me. Because I can't handle hearing someone else's thoughts or ideas. I just can't take it.
Especially differing ones.
It's things that go against what I say. Listen, let me tell you something here. I want to tell everyone here. I'm gonna open up here. I tend to not want to really use this as a platform for this type of thing, but this is a fantastic example. I'm a Christian. Okay? I go to church just about every Sunday. I do my best to follow, the teachings of Jesus Christ. I believe I'm a believer. This is what I do. I'm not getting preachy, all right? You follow what you want to believe, and I'm not going to bash you over the head for believing what you want to believe. The thing is this. If someone comes to me and they're a Muslim and they want to talk to me about Islam, I'll listen to them. I don't believe in what you believe. It's a completely different opposite to a degree. But I'm open to listening, differing. I'm willing to listen to anyone's opinion, even if it's to clash mine, even if it's to talk negative about my beliefs. Mm-hmm. And my beliefs mean a lot to me. All right, the Christianity means a lot to me. A lot of who I am, a lot of what I do on a day-to-day basis is defined. It's not defined by the religion. There's a relationship involved, but I'm not going to look at someone and say, don't tell me about your religious beliefs because that's not what I believe. And if you try to tell me about your beliefs, I'm going to yell and get angry at you and like rant about it online or something. There's this mentality that just because someone disagrees with you, that means you have to shut them off, shut them down, and not listen.
Insane.
Listen, if there's anyone that listens to our podcast and thinks it's objectively trash and thinks it's the worst thing on the face of this earth, I want them to tell us why. I want to hear it. Because out of that little bit of thing, like that concept, the thing that person says, outside of just saying that we just suck and we suck because we just suck, someone that can come to the table and say, well, look, these are the reasons why I think that your podcast sucks. Your audio quality and you just whatever. You guys ramble so much and all that kind of stuff. Fine. Because I can generally find a nugget of how to improve both myself as a human being and this podcast through the negative criticism. What Ms. Price has shown is that she will not stand to listen to anyone's opinion if it goes against what she believes, despite the fact that she opened up things to a public forum on social media. People are going to see it. You're an employee of ArenaNet. It's going to be seen by everyone.
Yep.
Also, you represent the company you work for.
Yep.
There's a reason why I try not to say stupid stuff online. Okay? There's a reason why I try to be nice to everyone. For the most part, it's not that I don't want to get in trouble. Look, if I was a complete and total douchebag jerk, my job probably wouldn't care all that much. But if I went in the people that we work for, I say people we work for, I work in the computer industry. I'm not gonna say exactly what I do, but if I reached out to the clients that my company does work for, and was like, you guys are stupid, like on social media or something, I'm probably gonna get canned. So, I'm just saying, dude, you gotta understand, social media should not be used as a place to vent. It shouldn't be a place if you're wanting to go and have this huge long thread talking about something. You best expect people are going to disagree with you, have differing opinions. People will agree with you. Just what was her intent with this thread? That's what I'm wondering. What was her intent with it? What was she thinking that would happen? Anyways, on to the Polygon article. Sorry about that rant. I just had to get that off my chest.
Hey, no worries.
So, it turned out that Miss Price's bosses, they agreed with how angry fans were, which, by the way, it says here that fans mostly ignored Price's point about women professionals constantly being questioned by men. They wanted to express their anger about a member of the community being rebuked. And I'm assuming that the community member who tweeted back, I'm assuming he's a big part of they're a big part of the people know who this person is.
Right.
They stand out. And I mean, to have someone imagine, can you imagine, Mitch? Okay, Mitch, what is the game that you play a lot of?
Siege.
Okay. What if you were just like, if you commented on a developer of Siege, and you're just like, hey man, like the most recent, or the community manager. We'll say it's the community manager. We'll just make it like that. You commented on a tweet or you just sent a tweet out to the community manager saying, hey man, that most recent update on shotguns, that was pretty terrible. That was brutal. And what if he came back and said, well, maybe you should learn to get better?
I would laugh.
It's funny, right? But he just insulted you.
It's true.
And I would assume he would get fired.
Possibly, yeah.
Because that's not what their job is. He, she, whatever. It's not their job to insult you. Unless you knew he was kidding, right? Unless you knew, through some, method or manner that he was just being, he's just talking smack because, he's talking smack and he's not actually trying to insult you. The community manager wouldn't be doing their job. The same should go for developers. If you are associated with a brand and you act like an idiot on social media, I think you should be fired. Because whether or not you realize it, you still represent the brand even if you're not at work.
Yeah.
Even if you say, all thoughts are my own on this account. Okay?
You're still associated with it.
You're still associated with the community. The fact is, though, is that she said something to a prominent community member, and that's what a lot of the ire came from. That's why a lot of the community was angry for, and I think for good reason.
Yeah.
So Miss Price's boss agreed with the angry fans. Says Price was called into a meeting with a manager from the narrative department, a human resource person, and ArenaNet president Mike O'Brien. So here we go. We're getting into what she actually stated. She says, I was given no opportunity to argue my case. I think you've already thrown out any opportunity, any chances you get to argue your case. In this situation, they've seen how you've acted. They've seen, how fans, or how, the community, people have responded to you now. You've now caused a negative connotation with the company. Going back to her what she was saying, my manager was on vacation. O'Brien, the ArenaNet president, spent some time insisting that developers must be friends with the company's customers and that it was unacceptable to say that we aren't, even when we're not on the clock. listen, it goes back to what I was saying. You represent the company whether you're on the clock or off the clock. They know you work for ArenaNet. If you don't want them to know that you work for ArenaNet, then guess what? You know what you do, Mitch?
You take it out of your Twitter bio.
Her Twitter bio actually still states that she is a writer for ArenaNet.
Yeah.
You remove it. Obviously, you're going to put that there because you're proud of it.
Yeah.
I used to write for, and I guess this is going to be sort of a plug for Article Asylum. I used to be a pretty heavy contributor for the site, and when I wrote a lot, I had them in my Twitter bio, my personal Twitter bio. Why did I have it there? Because I was proud that I wrote for them. I was proud to be a contributor. I'm not saying I'm not proud of being a contributor. I'm just saying I'm not a contributor anymore. Not for any bad reasons, but this podcast takes all my time. So anyways, she says that going back to this, he's to the quote. She says that he told me I'd look back and regret this because we were doing great work and I'd ruined it. The whole thing was highly unprofessional, she continued. There was zero reason for him to be there. Okay, alright, look, he's the president of the freaking company. He can go wherever he wants to go. And when the fact that a employee lashed out to a prominent community member and was trying to call him a random arse hat, because I don't want her words to be my words. I don't think she deserves that kind of attention. Then what are you doing? Do you think you're above everything?
I guess so.
You know, he's going to be in a meeting like that because you just tarnished a bit of the reputation that ArenaNet has with its customers, which is the community. You don't do that. You don't do that at all. So he goes on to say he wanted to vent his anger. Understandable. You are an employee that just did something stupid over social media. And he had this is the catcher. And he had the power to command a woman to stand there while he took his feelings out on her. So he did. Ms. Price, I know you're probably never going to listen to this podcast. You're probably never. This is just going to be a blip on anyone's radar, probably. Whatever. I don't care. He took his anger out on you because you were an employee, not because you were a woman. Stop it. Stop thinking that just because you're a woman, you're the victim here. In this particular situation, you were an idiot employee. You were not.
Gender has nothing to do with it.
Gender has nothing to do with it. Okay? If it was a male in this similar situation, I would hope this male would have gotten fired as well, because this is behavior that is not needed in the gaming industry.
Right.
I don't care if you don't even like the fans of the game. I don't even care if you don't like the company you work for. Whatever. You leave it off social media. You don't say a word about it. You keep all that stuff on the down low. So, to finish off what she said, then he walked out. The manager got my stuff from my desk, and the HR person asked for the key card. Price later discovered that her colleague, Peter Fries, who defended her in social media threads, was also fired. Yeah, he's going to get fired too, because guess what?
He's advocating for your behavior.
Yeah, you don't talk crap to the community. You don't talk crap to your customers. The customer is not always right. I mean, we all know this. Anyone who's spent time in retail or fast food know that that's not the case, even though that's what they say. But you don't show them that. You don't, even when they're being, most of the time when they're being stupid to you. Like every time I've worked retail, if I'm dealing with a customer who wants to be irate, look, you just deal with it. You deal with it and move on. They're gonna be angry for the wrong reasons. They're not mad at you for the most part. They're probably not mad at you. They're just mad. They're mad because something went wrong with the system. They got charged a little bit more than what they should have gotten charged, and you just, you correct the issue and then you move on. I know some people have a hard time thinking that that's the case, but that's what you got to do.
Yep.
So the article continues to say that Price said that she had no previous problem with her bosses about social media activities. I was told during my interview and subsequent hiring communications that ArenaNet respected my willingness to speak up on issues in the industry and had no desire to muzzle me. I had in my time there 0 warnings about my social media use. Everything I said on Twitter was consistent with what I've been saying for years and how I've been saying it. Listen, and I will, we'll throw a little bit of warning or not warning, but throw a little bit of issue at ArenaNet because maybe they should have had a social media policy.
Yeah, sure.
But it's not so much that they are trying to muzzle you, that they think they have an issue with who you are as a person. They're going to be lenient about that. I think it's just when you start trashing fans. Now, does she have a history of trashing the fans? I have no idea. But I would feel like with the way that they reacted to this situation, she's not trashed fans before. Or try to throw this whole, look at the man trying to say, trying to explain things when not blah 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 blah. When he wasn't trying to explain things, he was just trying to give a counter argument.
He wanted a discussion.
Yeah, he wanted a discussion.
Shut him out.
Yeah.
Out.
Shut him out. You shut him out. Why would you do such a thing? So what do you think, Mitch? What do you think? I've ranted enough on this. I feel like it's just
not that the situation's out of proportion, but her reaction is so over the top that it's dramatic and unnecessary. When you're, I don't want to say the gaming industry, but if you make content and someone wants to give you feedback, you listen to it. Constructive criticism. You take it. If you don't want to do that thing, you don't have to do that thing. When I post to social media, like we said earlier, I talk about sports a lot. I have some controversial opinions every now and then, and I expect conversation. Not criticism necessarily, but, a discussion of what I just said. You're putting your thoughts, your process, out to the world, which I'm assuming she has a pretty good following. She has almost 16,000 followers. You have to expect something. The streamer, YouTuber, Roar, I can't pronounce your name, I'm so sorry. We've been butchering that all night.
All night.
And we apologize every time. But you're in the right. You did nothing wrong. You responded back to something. I think I might be getting off topic here, but I don't know. You touched on it quite well. I actually didn't read the entire thread that she posted, mainly because I was afraid that I would get angry at it, and that's almost exactly what what we're talking about here, shutting things off that we don't want to read. But maybe I should have read it. Did you read the whole thread?
No, I didn't read through the entire thread because honestly, it started becoming boring. I mean, this is sad to say. It started becoming boring to me because just a lot of it, just like I said, it just felt like she was just wanting to rant and vent about some stuff. So no, I didn't entirely read the entire thing through. I probably should have.
That's what I thought too. That she was just ranting.
I mean, because like she said, when she started this whole thread, she says I spent all kinds of time saying it on a Reddit AMA, and I haven't talked about actual game development on Twitter in a while. Here's a thread about writing for the playable character in an MMO. I don't know why she does this so much. I mean, I don't know if it's to, just just to kind of give her own touch, or her own take on like how hard it is to write for the for this type of stuff. But it just, I mean, I guess if she says that no one's given her an issue for how she's like been on Twitter ever since working for ArenaNet, I'm guessing she does this type of stuff maybe frequently. But it looks like a place just to air out some maybe some concerns that she has, maybe to kind of, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like even if I were to be working for ArenaNet, I wouldn't say that much on Twitter. I couldn't be that active because first of all, it's just not me. But I feel like a lot of people have to have a place just to talk about stuff, even if they're talking to a wall. I mean, I love talking, obviously. I've been talking a whole lot like this episode. But at the same time, I mean, I'm willing to take any kind of criticism or any type of, I guess it's different strokes for different folks. She actually has, right, by the way, in her bio,
that's what
that that she blocks often.
Multi-language blocks often.
So,
and also usually, like I follow a bunch of people that like work on like media sites, and they'll go work for like a game development company. They'll usually put in their Twitter bio like account does not reflect employers' thoughts, processes, whatever you want to say. Unfortunately, hers does not say that. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to say that, but you're putting yourself out there, man. That sounds terrible, but like,
oh my gosh,
you're blocking people for having a different opinion. It's crazy.
Well, it's also, she's mad at the fact that that ArenaNet fired her for backing the community. One of her last tweets, by the way, she said, "Anyway, if you're a developer in this industry, take a very careful look at what ArenaNet has done, and get a guarantee from your management that they're not going to do it to you." Listen, let me tell you something. Okay, hands down, I do development work. Now, I'm not in the game industry, but my boss won't fire me as long as I'm not talking bad to our customers.
Who'd have thought?
If I talk bad to our customers, we're probably going to have a sit-down. We're probably going to be discussing some things. Now, if I want to talk bad about anything else in the world, if I want to get political, if I want to get religious, whatever, they don't care.
There's a good chance of these.
Yeah, there's a very good chance they're not going to care. What is with this mentality with people on the internet? If you do stupid things that potentially could damage the reputation of your employer, especially when the fact that your employer makes video games and it has a community of gamers, what makes it right for you to chastise a community member?
A popular one as well.
Even if it was just a rando person.
Yeah, it's true. But
what makes it right? You shouldn't have a right to do that. You shouldn't have a right to just be straight up, rude to this person when they were doing nothing to harm. Like you said, the person just wanted discussion. Like in the Polygon article, it continues. She continues to say some stuff, man, that is just ridiculous.
Yeah, I didn't finish the Polygon article either.
Yeah, man. Here we. You ready for some stuff? It gets pretty bad.
Hit me with the bombs, man.
All right. She goes on to say, actually, I'll start right here. It's like 3 little paragraphs I kind of want to read here. So it says, since the controversy broke, Price has been the target of intense social media harassment and abuse, which I don't think is cool, by the way, guys.
No, sure.
She did something stupid, but that doesn't mean that it's your job to come call her out. It doesn't mean it's your job to do that. It was her employer's job to do that. She's an employee. She dealt with it. She may not be a good person. She may be a terrible person, or whatnot. But it's not your place to cast that type of judgment.
Exactly.
Leave her alone. Don't respond to her on anything. Treat her as anyone else in the world who wants to do something stupid, and you may not agree with it. Just ignore her. Move on.
She's also a human being.
Yeah, she's a human being. And people make mistakes. Maybe she made a mistake. Do what?
I said, just treat her as a human being. It's not that hard.
Yes. So, but it says she believes that O'Brien's statement contributed to the abuse. O'Brien's statement was, it says, following the firings, O'Brien released a statement saying that Price's and Fryer's attacks on the community were unacceptable. It is unacceptable.
Yeah.
So then she goes on the quote. She said, "Let's be clear. In 2018, it's absurd to pretend ignorance of what would happen to a woman fired for speaking about sexism because he feels she got too uppity. It isn't about the gender." He painted a target on everyone's back. He didn't just fail Peter and me, or even the employees for which he was responsible. He failed the entire industry. He caved to a handful of people and an army of bots and sock puppets, she added. Now he's got almost every female developer I know, as well as some men, furious with him. I've got recruiters pinging me, promising me they will steer candidates away from ArenaNet, and game design professors saying they're going to warn their students away. I've also had a lot of ArenaNet coworkers and other industry colleagues contacted me to express how afraid this has made them. Oh my gosh. All because you want to be a dumbass on the internet.
Essentially, yeah. I mean, I don't have too much more to say. It's just, this is ridiculous. You know?
First off, any company out there, have a social media policy. Alright? Oh my gosh. Just keep yourself...
Let this be your lesson.
Yes, let this be a massive lesson for you. Because, oh my gosh. I'm just...
You called them rando asshats. And they're going to be instantly blocked if they don't agree with you. It's lame.
Or if they try to discuss, what did she say, branching dialogues. If the next rando arshat decides to message me about branching dialogues, I'm blocking them.
It's an interesting conversation to be had.
That's a conversation I would love to have with someone over that. Game design has always been fascinating to me. And that's another aspect of it, especially when it comes to writing for video games. I mean, I don't know how difficult it is to write for video games because I've never written for a game, obviously. But to be able to expand upon, us other than having a straight linear path, kind of story, maybe she was making some fair points, but at the same time it doesn't matter because it's like she was treating this as her own personal bubble, her own personal world, and how dare this person come in and give different opinions.
Queen of the castle.
It's a way of saying this. Like, no, ma'am, you're on the internet. I mean, listen, I had this is crazy. So, I had a Reddit account. Go figure. And I befriended a chick on Reddit one time. It was part of a weight loss subreddit. And I became friends towards her. At least I thought it was friends. Until one day because we started video chatting with each other and stuff like that. And it was the only time in the world that I ever got involved in Snapchat. And this is actually the reason why I never ever want to use Snapchat again.
Oh God. I'm afraid of where this is going.
Well, she was really a chick, but she was lying to me about her age. She was saying that she was 21 years old,
catfished,
and a junior in college. Oh yeah, catfished. Turned out she was 16 and still in high school, and she was in Australia though.
Down under.
Yeah, so when all that kind of came out, I was like, well, you know what? Okay, I'm leaving her alone. I'm backing off. Well, I ended up with the same. So I kept rolling with the same Reddit account, and she just one day just totally just sent me one message that was this huge, like, it was borderline harassment. Like, calling me names, saying all kinds of, like, being very, very, very mean. Very mean-spirited towards me when I was just trying to be a friend. And, you know, I don't know. I tend to overly trust people over the internet too much to begin with. And I was like, I sent her it was like a throwaway account she created. So, like, she sent the message and then deleted the account, but the message was still there.
Okay, gotcha.
And I was like, okay, so I'm deleting this and just going to pretend this never happened. And then it was like a week later, she sent another message like that.
From a different account?
It was another throwaway account, yeah. Which you can do that on Twitter, Reddit. You can create an account, and then just if you get a bunch of bad crap from people, you can just delete it. And then you can make another account. Do what? It makes sense. It's especially useful because when she sent that second message to me, I said, I'm gone, and I just deleted that account and created another one.
Smart.
Because I wasn't gonna stand for that abuse. So be careful with what you say on the internet, boys and girls. Like, you're not always going to, make people happy. You're not always going to impress people. But at the same time, if you're working for a company,
be smart. Make smart decisions.
Be smart. Make smart decisions, and don't talk crap to the customers.
Don't insult your fans and customers. The reason you're in business.
Yeah, the reason why I've not called them fans, the reason why I've said both community and customers is because they're the people that buy the products.
Yep.
But now it's becoming this whole debacle now of saying I was wronged because I spoke my mind, and it's like, no, you're wrong because you spoke your mind to this person. She wants to think because she's a female that this is why all this is going down.
Yeah.
Wow. So pretty much with that, I think we're about done. You think we're done? Are we done?
Yeah. I have nothing left to say on this topic.
Yeah. I'm just going to touch on real quick, by the way, Warframe's coming to Switch.
That was supposed to be serious, but
oh no. See, this is where you don't understand. What just played there was some music or either music or some kind of clip of like me. Like, it was not me, but someone just going, just screaming yes.
Daniel Bryan, yes, that's what you can put there.
I wish, but it's not so much of a yes chant. It's just someone going, yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the cartoon that I'm blanking on. Yes, that was terrible, but you get the idea.
Wow. But yes, I'm super looking forward to that. When that officially comes out, the Switch, I may never touch my PlayStation again.
Are you serious?
I'm being almost borderline serious because, that's, I love that game so much. Even if I have to start over from scratch, I don't care. I love that game that much. Just, yeah.
From scratch?
From scratch. I'd be willing to do it.
You're a crazy man.
I'm dedicated. I love the game that much. And to be able to play it on the Switch, to just say I could take this anywhere and go play some Warframe or whatnot, oh, yeah. Give it to me. Give it to me.
So should I jump in on the Switch then?
For Warframe?
Yeah.
I would recommend it.
For Switch or PC, though? I can play on PC.
Well, I mean, it's going to be free to play, so you can try it out on PC if you want to, and maybe they'll be able to let you transfer stuff from PC to Switch. Maybe you should wait to jump in until we get more clarification on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay,
I
yeah.
can't remember if there's a release date for it. They just say it's coming coming, or
They just say it's coming. They don't say, like, they didn't give a release date, so I'm assuming it's going to be next year at some point. But the interesting thing is, though, the company that's doing the porting of this is also they stated that they're doing there's another game that they're going to be porting that they can't talk about yet.
Interesting.
And this company is also getting to, like, they're the main company that's porting a lot of third-party games to the Switch.
Do you know the company name?
I can find it real quick. Warframe.
Thanks for staying through this commercial. Is this where we should put a paid advertisement?
I think it's is it Panic Button? Is that the developer?
I have no idea.
Panic Button Switch titles. Let's just go to look at their website. Oh no, it's made with PHP. Ugh.
Not to be confused with PCP.
PHP is terrible. I hate PHP. They did the Wolfenstein 2 New Colossus.
The port?
Yeah, the port.
I probably wouldn't play Wolfenstein on the Switch.
Still, though, the fact that they did it.
Oh yeah, I love that.
They did the Doom port.
Didn't play that either.
They did the Rocket League port.
Now just saying things.
They did the Rocket League port to Switch and PS4.
What do you mean PS4?
And Xbox One. So they brought it to all systems. They brought Octodad to the Wii U.
Octodad was on the Wii U?
Yeah.
Learn something every day, man.
They brought Disney Infinity to the Disney Infinity 3.0. They brought that to the PS4. They developed the PS4 version, so there wasn't a port. They actually developed it.
See, they should have just called it 3PO.
They developed they were the main company that ported the the first Injustice game to the PS Vita.
Injustice is on the PS Vita?
Yeah, you know that?
No.
Yeah, it is. Solving challenges in networking, UI integration, and optimization. That they helped bring. So they were one of probably a couple companies that ported that. They helped out with Missplosion Man. Did you ever play Splosion Man?
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it was like a platformer with exploding mechanics.
Interesting.
Oh, they internally developed the space flight mission mode for Star Wars Connect.
I didn't have a Connect.
I didn't either.
I never liked that.
Yeah, that was pretty much all their greatest hits.
I mean, that's trustworthy.
Doom
and Wolfenstein are definitely up there. So I mean,
yeah. So they're doing. So they got Warframe going on, and then there is a current. They say we are currently working on several projects across several platforms, including recently released hardware. So, yeah, they seem to be a trustworthy company. Actually, they've done a lot of interesting things.
It kind of reminds me of like Bluepoint. Maybe Bluepoint is.
Oh, this is cool. Armature Studio asked us to bring our art and engineering expertise to the new IP Recore from Armature, Microsoft Game Studios, and KG Inafune.
They did Recore?
Yeah, they're art assets and engineering.
Interesting. I didn't play Recore.
You know, and everyone knows who KG Inafune is, right?
Probably not. So just tell them who they are.
I think he's the father of Mega Man.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yes, he is. Yep, Mega Man. He's worked on a lot of Mega Man games. He also worked on Lost Planets, Dead Rising, and Onimusha.
Yeah, I remember that because Colin Moriarty loves Mega Man. He used to talk about Recore and how he was excited for it.
It just
wasn't what it looked
kind
like.
of fell flat. But yeah, Warframe on the Switch. I'm looking forward to that. I'm just like, wow. Yeah, I'm up for that. I love the game. If you've not played the game, play the game. It's... There goes your phone again.
The ghost, man.
Something like that. And the last little bit of thing we're going to touch on is that Monster Hunter World is coming to the PC.
Woo!
But I've actually heard, though, that they stated that don't expect the graphics to look any better.
Woo!
So it's going to be a really...
That's fine.
I mean,
frame rate's more important than graphics.
Oh, I guarantee you they're going to try to lock that at 30 frames per second.
Are you serious? You think so?
I think they would.
Nah, they got to.
If they're not improving the graphics quality of that, I swear to you that's probably what.
Nah, there's no way they would release it this late for that.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Look, when it comes out, buy it.
I have a PS4. I don't play it, so I'm not gonna buy it.
Well, we want to test the theory.
We can just look it up.
Ah.
I'm not paying $60 to prove a theory, right?
We'll take it out of the budget.
Oh, okay, yeah. We'll do that.
Yeah, the budget. Because all that money we make. Yeah.
All that SSG podcast money.
Yeah, from the Patreon. Wait,
what tier is that?
I'm kidding. We don't have Patreon.
We don't.
I mean, maybe my mom would subscribe to that.
Is this an appropriate time for Indiegogo?
The what?
An appropriate time for an Indiegogo?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay. Is there any appropriate time for an Indiegogo?
I don't think there is really.
Yeah, there's not.
There's really no. I mean, Kickstarter? No, I'm kidding.
Is that still a thing? I rarely hear about that anymore.
Yeah, actually, I recently helped a graphic novel come to life for somebody on Kickstarter.
Cool.
My name is actually included in the thank you. Like
nice.
all versions of this graphic novel has my name printed in it.
I'm gonna buy it and then put "and Mitch" in the top of it.
We'll go right ahead because you would buy it, and you would own it. You'd own that copy, so
I wouldn't want to deface it though. To me.
But I'm just saying, it's kind of cool. It's really neat. That's I think the only Kickstarter thing that I actually participated in that actually was successful.
Is there any other Kickstarters that you participated in?
There was I think there was a couple of other, but I can't remember. A lot of times I'll look at Kickstarters and go, "Oh, that looks like a cool thing," but I really don't have the money. I really shouldn't be spending the money on stuff like that. It's almost like getting a tattoo. You know, you're like, "Oh, that looks cool," but then you're like, you said how much it would cost, and you're like, "I'll skip it."
Yeah, but you also said tattoos are permanent.
True.
I guess you could get it removed, but
I mean, you could get the money back, but at the same time, it's just kind of the way I look at it. At least, I can spend my money on other important things.
like video games,
Yeah, like video games.
like testing to see if Monster Hunter's got to have 60 frames.
I don't
buy
know.
it if it
I
doesn't.
don't know, man. I don't know. We'll have to see. That'll be something to look forward to when it actually comes out. But I think
That has a release date. It's August 9th, right?
Yes, August 9th.
Cool.
So we'll touch base on that. We'll see what happens with that. So, but I think at this point we're gonna call it into this episode. Thank you for everyone who's actually put up with us and our ranty selves, especially myself. Oh man, I just had to unleash. I feel so much better. So
No, you hit on all the good topics.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So, Mitch, you want to hit up the people with our social media links?
Yeah, so if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about this week's episode of the SSG Podcast, you can contact us at facebook.com/SSG Podcast. You can hit us up on Twitter at SSG_podcast. If you want to listen to this episode of the Spreaker, Woo, get a little ahead of myself, jumping the gun there, huh?
My goodness.
If you want to listen to this episode, which I'm not sure how you'd be listening anyway, if you want to share this with your friends, you can go to Spreaker.com/Chris and Mitch. And we are also on YouTube. Just use the search bar and look up SSG Podcast. It'll be the bright red logo with our faces on it. We are on iTunes Spotify now. We're on Spotify, correct?
Well, hold up, man. It's once again, you jumped the gun. Why did you?
I'm always jumping guns, man. You think that the guns wouldn't let me jump them because they'd probably shoot me, but no.
I don't even know where you were going with that. Anyways, yeah. So we will be on Spotify eventually. We actually just recently got approved to be on Spotify. It may take 2 to 3 weeks for the directory to be built.
Right. Yep.
But we did go. We are officially on iHeartRadio. So
yep. iHeartRadio, iTunes, Google Play,
Stitcher, TuneIn, and soon to be Spotify.
Good times.
Yeah, man. So there's no excuse now. You can't ignore us unless you just want to.
Which is easier than thinking.
I guess it would.
Or if you don't like us, you can just insta block us.
Yeah, insta block us on Twitter because curse our opinions on topical matters. Rar.
Say rar?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. I prefer 7-zip, but whatever. I don't know if anyone gets that joke, but if you did, then we can be best friends. So anyways, until next time, guys, thanks for listening, and yeah, we'll catch you guys next week with probably another thing that will get us in trouble. So see you guys.
Have a Mitchin one. But